not heating up at all. Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that board works. But that's not the reason for doing that test. I just wanted to make sure that that worked, which it does. And my 12-volt lines aren't heating up at all. So now we can get back to the board in question. Right, back on this. See where we're at so far with it. Test run runs. Game run won't run because everything's missing. But with it at this stage, what we're going to do now is we're going to start to put back all these ICs we took out previously when we were testing it. I kept them all. Yep. Big bag of chips here. I saved all the chips that I took out of this board. All small ones anyway, so now, that's better. I'm going to put them back. What I'll do is I'll do it in stages. I'll start with these here. Then I'll move to there. And then I'll do these two here, then that. And then we'll need to find some big ICs from up there. But I've got a spares board that can be pulled out of. Right. Okay, we're making progress. We've got all the buffers in. We don't need U35 or 36, they're just serial chips. We'll need to find U39 and U13 down in the corner here. Let's see how easy this picks up. When you're doing desoldering, hear the little click. Right, see how that one's not clicking? Gotta make sure all the pins move before you attempt to lift it. It might look desoldered, but there'll still be solder sticking in the through hole, and you've got to get that out as well, otherwise when you try and take this chip out, you're going to lift the pad. Right, there's the first reclaimed part that I need. See what I'm saying about patience? Do you see the solder sitting in the through holes a little bit? If you don't get that clear from the pins, those little through holes are little copper cylinders. And what happens is, when you take the chip out, you take that little copper tube out with it, and that's usually the little brown cylinders that you find attached to reclaimed parts sometimes. It's people pulling the chip out too early before it's ready and ripping out the pad. There's an example of that there. See it there? I've got a couple of chips with through holes still attached. If I find one, I'll show you. Now, yeah, I'm going to reclaim this top bank here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to solder these. Fresh solder on them. And then I'll just use the manual sucker, as usual, to remove Spares board had the chips are short legs, but no matter. Got another scrappy here. Just borrow off this one. Right, 8279. Yeah, we'll have that 682 one as well. Right, 682 one as well. That's not corrosion, by the way, that's dirt. It's just very, very dusty. I'll give that a clean up before I put it on the board that I'm working on. Pins are alright. And A4514. Right. I won't be able to get a 8051 off an original M1, but I can borrow one off another board to test, or Ben can. I tell you something, I must be allergic to U39. The first time I put this board together, I had U39 swap with another chip, and this time I forgot to put it in the board altogether. I was wondering why the test card would boot, but the actual game card wouldn't. That may have something to do with it. I don't know. I'm getting old. Okay, so I got it back together, but it's not all plain sailing. We start up the test ROM, but we don't start up the game card. I've seen this before. It's just these sockets. These sockets are going to have to come off. I think those two sockets are going to have to come off, and those two sockets are going to have to come off, because we'll run the test ROM fine, which is utilising this and some of this inner logic here, but we can't do anything with the game card, and the first thing the game card will do after it does the RAM check, ROM meters, is look for the switches, and it's not even trying. It's not like there's a broken trace on the memory or anything, it's trying to initialise the RAM. I can see that, I can see it pulsing the watchdog for one pulse and then bang, off. It's these sockets. So I'm going to take them off, solder those two chips hard down at the board. Take these two sockets off, probably replace them, or maybe just solder them hard down on the board, and then we'll see where we go. Okay. Now. I put U3 straight down to the board. Solder points are actually very clean. Clean them up with some IP anyway. Moved this capacitor over here a bit so the program card was set a bit flatter. No difference. Changed this chip out for another one because the writing printed on the front of the original was a little bit skew with, which I found a little bit suspicious, but I don't know. Made no difference at all. So I had a little bit of a deeper probe around, and I could actually see that pin 14 here was pulsing away, which feeds the enable signal for U11. The U11 was not doing anything, so I swapped it out. Now it ran fine with the test ROM in, so I guess it was flaky, but I swapped it out. Just put this card back. A little bit tricky to do with one hand. Right. There we go. It's alive. And it's working well. So I'll give this a full test tomorrow. Still a long way to go. I need to replace all these transistors, they're all gone. I need to replace that transistor there because I've just washed it back together. That's enable for the pace-slice circuit, which I'll also need to test. I need to bring the scope down and then do my trick with the top of the drivers. Yeah, but yeah, half the triads I'm missing as well. Need to replace them. We won't have any pace lights. But it is all running. It is all populated now, apart from the 805 one up there. I may actually have a chip I can program for that. See if that works. And I can get a coin cell to put in here, and then this one will actually hold its memory. So, we make progress. It's too late at night tonight to test sounds and reels, whatever, but I shall test it in the morning after the dentist has attacked my mouth, and we'll see where we go. So this will be continued in the morning.